Hello, my beautiful YouTube family. We are back at it again, but we are going to be taking this living room makeover in more manageable bites. The ceiling has been feeling super overwhelming because it is just a huge space to be doing alone together, and it has seemed way more daunting than it really is. I decided to break it up in quarters, so almost taking it corner by corner, because realistically, I'm not going to get a living room makeover done in a week, probably not even a couple weeks if I want to do it right this time around. Now, I am boring myself at this point with skim coating, but the truth of the matter is it really is like non-stop. When you're trying to take a textured wall to a perfectly flat surface, it can actually drive you insane. I do have to say I was way more excited to approach the skim coating process by breaking this down into quarters. So I'm sorry that I'm not doing the whole ceiling, but I hope that you guys enjoy, because one thing that made this insanely easy was Erin's Festool sander. It's just like a dust collection. You can adjust the speed and the suction. And so I went ahead and did that to the skim coat we did last time together and added not only one skim coat and sanded again, but a second one as well before I went in with the paint. I'm not sure if you guys remember in the hallway makeover, we blackened steel to be our baseboards. We just thought it would give a cleaner line. And quite frankly, we just like industrial feel and different textures versus the plain baseboards you see in a lot of houses. I cut that sucker down and sanded it on down with 220 to get most of that grit off, and then I decided to go in and add a hole for some nails every 12 inches. I actually have a free Patreon post on not only the rusting from the last episode, but also this blackening process and links and what have you, because they're both very simple, but they make a drastic change to the material you're using. For instance, adding this black magic onto that sanded steel is going to give it that like glazy black look, and then you're gonna go in with this wax after and kind of buff it in until it gets shiny, and you leave it be and it's nice and sealed and ready to go. As I mentioned, I did 2 skim coats, so this is going to be the final sand. And as I mentioned right at the beginning of this episode, it can honestly drive you nuts. Something about not hand sanding this down is you don't have a lot of control. I'm happy that Erin's sander has those 2 controls with the suction and with the power of the sanding. So I turned those all the way to low, and you can kind of see the difference in sanded versus not. Like the more white that I'm sanding versus the left-hand side of the screen, that's the raw stuff I still needed to get down nice and smooth. And then I just went in and I decided to paint everything. We decided, you know what, let's paint the ceiling. And I absolutely love it. So while I was handling the room, Erin was actually outside building 2 pieces of furniture that are insanely budget friendly. Everything we're doing, you guys, in this living room makeover is just basic Douglas fir that we're charring to oblivion and scraping on down, which just kind of gives you that like chicer, budget friendly build. We wanted to put our couch at a slant. It just kind of invites you more into the room. It opens you up to the entire experience. And so Erin opted to build 2 pieces of triangle furniture that kind of fit that empty void to be able to decorate, to be able to put drinks on, to be able to have people just sit back, relax, and be comfortable and have the nice use of the outlets. And I just honestly focused on the room and I was just like, have fun. And this is what he came up with and I absolutely loved it. I love my couch. I've had my couch, I think, for like 10 years. It's back when I did the office makeover when Callie was still around. And we just removed a couple of pieces, brought it down to 2 sections, and Erin routed out with this crazy router. I would never use that. It is absolutely insane. I'm glad he's very good at using that. But he routed out 2 pieces of wood he had on hand to boost up the front of the couch. Since I've had it for so long, it's starting to sag. It still looks a mess with the stains and it is a little wild, but we think we have an idea to dye it. We're just a little scared. And maybe you can help us pick the color by commenting down below. Something I fall in love with more and more every time Erin and I work together. Like, yes, I wish I was doing more of the building, but it is so fun to be able to cut transforming a space in half, not only time-wise, but because we're putting both of our brains together and feeding off of each other. I feel like it's going in this very unique direction because we're like sitting in the space as he's building it out, making it kind of custom to the experience that we want to provide for our family when they're over. I am purposely like trying to crop out that Mr. Cool as much as possible. Not that I don't love them, but it's because it's not the most pretty thing. As you can see, I'm complaining about it right now. So I wanted to quickly put together a prototype to kind of get our minds rolling on potentially learning how to make the Mr. Cool not look like one. Something in my head was like, well, I'm gonna build a box, wrap it in linen, just see if that takes away from it, and maybe we can come up with like a 2.0 version of it. But it was actually a giant fail. But I do want to show you the process and I do want to talk to you about it because there is something there that Erin and I are gonna do. Okay. Don't mind the slouch. Just let's get the idea across so you guys can understand what we're trying to work with. This is obviously way too big. I made it 5 inches too tall. Maybe if it's a little slender, it wouldn't be too much, but it honestly just kind of looks like a light fixture that doesn't turn on. So Erin had the idea of like painting the outside a color that will complement this, and then creating like a wood face to the front so it doesn't look like a mini split. It kind of acts more of an art piece. So that's where we're gonna go with that. But this was the general idea with it wouldn't be leaning obviously, but like, at least we found out by doing this, there's gonna be a simpler solution. This back triangle piece is almost identical to our desk build that we did. It just has a ledger and a leg to hold it on up. It's insanely simple, and so I'll link that video for you. But we stepped back, kind of put all the pieces together and enjoyed it for the evening, and started tripping out that we're actually making progress. I am really happy that we opted to do that fireplace first. Not only are we using it every single day and night, but it really kicked off the vibe for the entire living room. And so we're just able to play off of that, and we want to keep it more on the minimal side. So forgive me that we don't have wall decor up quite yet, or that Mr. Cool cover figured out, but we'll be coming back with, you know, a final living room makeover with all those details, like building out your own lighting, building out your bar, building your own drape rods. But right now we're trying to make way through those larger steps that have made this feel impossible. So that's what we did this time around. This coming Sunday, we're going to be tackling this wall by turning it into a rock wall, opening up the framing. If you don't know, I had a circle here before, so I'm excited to share that transformation because again, we're just going to take it in manageable bits. Oh, and we will be finishing the ceiling. So I think small steps in a positive direction, like with everything, is better than nothing at all. So thank you for being here this week. I will see you Sunday for another DIY.